Hey everyone. When you look at an NFL slate like this, there are games that feel routine and then there are matchups that jump off the page because the line is screaming a story before the ball is even tipped. Today, we've got several of those. And when a number looks massive, uncomfortable, or straight up disrespectful, it's usually because the matchup underneath tells you exactly why oddsmakers are setting that trap. So, let's break down these games the way we always do here on Beyond the Box Score with real analysis, real matchup breakdowns, and sharp angles you can take straight into your bets. Now, as always, before we dive deep, it's worth reminding everyone that supporting the channel keeps these daily breakdowns coming. Less than 25% of you watching are actually subscribed. If you find value in the analysis, if you enjoy the picks, and if you want to help the channel grow toward that 2,000 goal, right now sitting at 1272, it's increasing. Hit that subscribe button. It takes 1 second and helps channel in a huge way. Game 1, Philadelphia Eagles vs. Washington Commanders. As we look ahead to Saturday's early NFL clash, the Philadelphia Eagles make the short trip to face the struggling Washington Commanders, a matchup that on paper should heavily favor the defending Super Bowl champions, but the nuances in personnel and recent performance make this far from a simple narrative. The Eagles arrive at FedEx Field at 9-5, carrying a 62.71% win probability, and are listed as 6.5-point favorites. Across the league, analysts are closely watching the Eagles' offense, which has sputtered at times this season, yet remains stacked from top to bottom. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Devonta Smith, and A.J. Brown form a formidable core capable of pushing the ball both through the air and on the ground. Despite this, the Eagles' rushing attack has been notably down compared to last season, averaging approximately 80 fewer yards per game, putting pressure on the passing game to find a rhythm. The Commanders, meanwhile, come in at 4-10 after a surprising upset last week, giving them a 32.7% chance to win. With Jane Daniels out for the remainder of the season, Marcus Mariota steps in as the veteran starter, a capable but limited option for Washington's offense. Their 20.8 points per game, 191.3 passing yards, and 137.1 rushing yards per game paint a picture of a team that can move the ball but struggles to sustain drives against top-tier competition. Defensively, Washington has allowed 26.8 points per game, giving up an average of 250 passing yards and 140 rushing yards per game, leaving vulnerabilities the Eagles can exploit, especially through a balanced run-pass attack. The spread lean for this matchup clearly favors Philadelphia, and with their points per game sitting at 22.9 while allowing just 19.4, the statistical gap is pronounced. The Eagles' offense, if it can re-establish its running game, will open the door for Hurts to attempt deep shots, challenging a Commanders' defense that has shown inconsistency under pressure. Barkley's downhill runs and the supporting cast's ability to stretch the field are central to Philadelphia's strategy, creating the kind of multi-dimensional attack that forces defenses to overcommit and opens lanes for explosive plays. Against the backdrop of playoff-caliber stakes, every yard, every possession becomes amplified, making this more than just a typical December contest. Historically, teams in Philadelphia's position on the road against sub-.500 opponents with high-quality offensive talent have shown strong conversion rates against spreads, and that trend appears poised to continue. The over-under sits at 44.5, reflecting expectations for a moderately high-scoring affair. Both teams have had issues sustaining offensive efficiency, but the Eagles' superior defense and balanced attack give them the edge. Analytical observations suggest that scenarios where the Eagles dominate time of possession and establish early rhythm in the trenches could easily lead to them covering the spread while pushing the total over the expected threshold. In terms of player props and potential impact, Hurts' accuracy will define Philadelphia's ceiling. Barkley's ability to pound the ball effectively opens opportunities for Smith and Brown to capitalize downfield. Washington's limited offensive options place added emphasis on Mariota's decision-making and the effectiveness of his supporting cast, but given the Eagles' statistical advantages, both in points allowed and in yards per game, it's hard to envision a scenario where the home team pulls off a significant upset. Taking all this into account, the Eagles are projected to assert dominance both in the trenches and through the air, with a final score forecast of 30-7, a result that not only favors them in the win column but also supports the spread lean in an expected over outcome. Game 2, Green Bay Packers vs. Chicago Bears. The nightcap on Saturday presents a tantalizing matchup between the 9-4 Green Bay Packers and the 10-4 Chicago Bears, a contest brimming with complexity, injury considerations, and playoff implications. The Packers, a team that has oscillated between moments of brilliance and mediocrity this season, enter as 1.5-point favorites with a 58.6% chance to win, while the Bears are pegged at 41%. Over-under projections sit at 46.5 points, setting the stage for a competitive, high-leverage affair. This game exemplifies the strategic chess match that is the NFL in December, where personnel availability, efficiency on the ground, and quarterback performance can swing outcomes in ways that the raw record alone might not suggest. Green Bay's offensive profile is rooted in a balance between passing and rushing, with 24.9 points per game, 224.9 passing yards, and 117 rushing yards per contest. Jordan Love, tasked with leading the offense amid injuries to key weapons, has tallied 23 touchdowns against 6 interceptions. Injuries loom large for the Packers, with Micah Parsons sidelined on defense and Jacobs listed as banged up. These absences could limit Green Bay's ability to consistently disrupt the Bears' offensive rhythm, potentially inviting more explosive plays through the air or on the ground. Time of possession control and establishing a reliable rushing attack remain central to Green Bay's strategy, as dominating the clock is often the most effective way to mitigate defensive vulnerabilities. The Bears, 10-4 and one of the hottest teams over the past 2 months, present a balanced offensive threat. Caleb Williams has thrown for 3,200 yards with just 6 interceptions, a testament to both his skill and the supporting cast around him, despite injuries to Swift and Odunai. Chicago averages 26.1 points per game, 217.2 passing yards, and 151.9 rushing yards, while allowing 24.1 points per contest. Their versatility and offensive depth mean that if the Packers' defense falters in critical moments, the Bears can exploit gaps and maintain scoring consistency. Analytical observations suggest scenarios where Chicago controls pace in spurts, forcing the Packers to adapt and rely on scrambling and situational plays from Love to maintain offensive balance. Spread lean analysis reflects a near toss-up, with Green Bay's marginal 1.5-point favoritism and Bears' home field advantage creating a matchup that could swing either way depending on execution. Both teams have demonstrated the capacity to hit the over in recent contests, with high-volume passing and efficient rushing contributing to scoring outputs that challenge standard expectations. Considering player props, Jordan Love's touchdown potential, especially in red zone scenarios, becomes pivotal, as does the Bears' ability to convert balanced rushing and passing yardage into sustained drives. Injury impacts, particularly Parsons' absence, also add layers of uncertainty that could influence scoring and the defensive matchups across the field. Ultimately, this game embodies the tension and unpredictability of late-season NFL matchups. With both teams playoff-bound and carrying momentum from recent successes, the narrative is shaped not just by talent but by execution under pressure, strategic clock management, and the ability to exploit matchups. The projected outcome leans toward Green Bay narrowly securing the win at 27-24, with both teams' scoring patterns supporting the over and Green Bay's spread leans slightly favored, though this remains a 50-50 scenario with multiple potential analytical scenarios. Observing how both offenses navigate key defensive disruptions and capitalize on explosive plays will define the evening and potentially set the tone for playoff matchups to come. Overall, this slate is packed with intriguing matchups where defense, shooting efficiency, and free throw opportunities could determine outcomes for those looking to bet smart and follow expert analysis. The emphasis on matchups, historical context, and statistical edges provides a clear roadmap. At Beyond the Box Score, we break down every angle, every stat, and every trend so you can step into your bets with confidence and clarity. Be sure to follow, subscribe, and stay locked in for the most detailed, analytical, and actionable daily breakdowns in NFL.